podcast for dinner.
Sweet. Flat 5. We're live here. Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Better cup that mic.
I'm going to hold on to this thing the whole time. Just like this. Just like this the whole time. I hope I don't get any arm fatigue. Maybe I can do those. Meow. Meow. But we are here on the podcast on Flat 5, finally, with Sam, a.k.a. Glitter Party.
Yes. Hello.
Thank you for coming on, man.
No problem. It's my pleasure.
It's always weird, like, when you really know the person that you're talking to.
Yeah, totally.
Because you're like, now I'm introducing you when I've never done this before.
Yeah.
And then it's like, hey, everybody, this is my friend.
Yeah, like, just a friend.
Just a friend, you know?
Of course.
So, there's so much that we can talk about today.
Yeah.
What I want to start with is like, how we met.
Oh, yeah.
I want you tell your story on how we met at Humber.
So, I went to a music school after high school. I didn't know what I was doing, so I just like saw a school that was doing music, that was teaching music, so I just applied there and I got into the intro program.
Yes, sir.
And then my first day of classes, I was sitting. I heard this guy talking, and I turned around. And I was like, "Hello, this guy's talking. And I'm gonna talk to him." And then that's how I met him.
That's how we met him. Yeah. Exactly, bro. I love that. That's the part. It's like this guy was talking.
It's like you have a voice, like a specific voice, where like I guess you just talk a lot.
Yeah, certainly.
So, and everybody was so awkward.
Makes a good host.
Everybody was so awkward because it was the first day, and everybody was like, all weird. So then I was like, oh, this guy's talking, so I'll just turn around and talk to you.
Yeah, bro. I don't know what it is. I think in like the awkward moments, I have to be like, hey, like let's not do this anymore. Like let's just talk, you know?
Yeah.
Because like it like there's like a feeling I get when things are awkward, where it's like a flight situation where I'm like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be in this scenario.
Really?
I hate awkwardness. Like I remember the day of.
I love it.
You really? Are you a fan of The Office?
Yeah, I like The Office.
Terrible.
You hate it?
I do
you
not
hate
like
The
that
Office?
show, bro.
Oh my god, man! You're gonna get your first podcast walkout. How could you hate The Office?
Fuck this. No, because like there's so many. Like, okay, my brother was watching it yesterday, and Jim and Pam.
Yeah.
Is that his name, Jim?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Jim and Pam go to Michael Scott's house with the blonde lady. I never knew her name.
Oh,
like
that episode's really hard to watch.
Oh my god!
With the TV, with the little
TV and the candles and just the awkwardness. And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get dinner started and it'll be ready in 3 hours." And then Pam's like, 3 hours from now? Or you mean you started it 3 hours ago? And they're like, in Spain, they don't eat till midnight. And I was like, if somebody said that to me, I'd be like, I'm leaving. Like, I'm just gonna grab chicken nuggets on the way home. Like, what?
But is that the only episode you watched?
No, I've seen the beginning episode with the stapler and Jello.
Yeah.
I didn't laugh once.
You didn't laugh once?
I didn't laugh once. I can't.
Wow.
Like, I laugh at it now because I laugh at how awkward I felt like watching that.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe,
and then
you just can't handle it.
I can't. No, like,
you have to fill in the space.
I have to fill in this. I can't. Like, even awkward situations in any movie, I'm like, oh my God, make it stop. Like, I can't.
Wow.
Can't do it. Do you like it?
It's not that I like it. I'm just used to it. I don't really like talking that much. So I just
Bro, why are you here?
I just thrive. I don't know why I'm here.
You just thrive in silence.
I thrive on the silence. And I look for people who don't, like you.
Yeah.
And then that makes me feel a little better. Like, I just like use you for your extrovertedness. And then I'm gone.
I just need a lot of people that talk. And then I'm just going to dip. So what is it when you teach? You just let them like just rail? You just let them just go off?
Like when I teach kids
music?
I guess the viewers don't know that, but we both teach kids music.
Yeah, this is the thing. When you're talking to someone that you know, you just talk as if you know them, but you forget that there's an audience that's like listening sometimes.
Yeah.
But yes, we do teach. We teach at Degazon, which, I mean, by now, Flat 5 viewers got to know Degazon. We've talked about it a few times on the show, that they're kind enough to let us use this space for free, essentially, and run the podcast and all that.
But no, yeah, I'm completely silent. I don't say a word to my students.
Just
No,
like,
just kidding.
just like, hi, child.
Yes.
Sam, are you gonna talk to me today?
Watch me and play what I play. Just like repeat it. But no, yeah, I talk to them. Like you kind of have to if you're getting paid for it. Like,
Yeah.
things change. I'm not getting paid to talk to people in public or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like
It's
if
a one-on-one session.
yeah. No, I'm not that bad. I'm just kidding.
No, you're talkative. I mean,
Yeah.
like, it's not like you're, like I find like sometimes I'm like way too energetic for people. Like even on like I played a gig on Saturday. We were done at 1:00, and then I was like driving home like vibing when I should have been like really tired. And I was like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to bed till like 3 a.m. And it's like, how does this like doesn't stop? But I think like when you talk to people and you have interaction with people, do you feel depleted after, or do you feel like energized?
It depends on the day. Sometimes I'll like talk to people and I'll go home and I just won't speak a word for like a day after.
Really?
Yeah. Or the opposite will happen where I'll just like have a really good interaction with somebody and then I'll be walking on the street and I'll say hi to a random person. Like it'll just be either or.
Interesting.
So yeah, I guess it just depends.
I always find I'm reserving myself. Like I always find like when I walk down in the streets of Toronto or whatever, like I have to stop myself from being like this to people. Like hey.
Really?
Like I'm always like, hey, what's going on? Like,
are you a
what's up?
waver in the car? Do you like wave at people?
Like to say hi?
Yeah.
I don't know if I do. I definitely wave at people to get them to move along because, like we said, drivers are incompetent.
Yeah, just like on the way here.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Ian's car horn is so funny.
Yeah, the Penguino. All the close friends that have been in the Mazda. Is he gonna stay? Yes.
Oh wow.
Nice. All the close friends that have been in the Mazda know the horn that I have. The Newt. It's my favorite, like the Penguino. It's my favorite horn. But we had what was it? It was like a silver Honda Civic. We're just gonna get the whole Flat 5 crew to just find this person and just egg their house because they're a terrible driver.
No, it's probably just like a delivery driver. Or
yeah, a
something.
delivery or like a young kid. Because I know like around this time, like especially by the schools, like kids do their driving lessons. Because I used to take the same road on my like All-Star. We used to like come down Albion Vaughan and then come to King because it's right down there. So we'd like park the car there or at my house in Bolton, which was over there. But yeah, I mean, how we met. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah. So I just turned around and said hi, and then that was it. But what was your story?
I remember waking up that day in a panic. I remember being like, oh my God, like this is it. This is the moment. This is the make or break moment. Like, I don't know why I thought that because it's like, hey, you're already in the program. Like,
yeah.
You're there. But I remember being like, oh my, like this is gonna be such a big deal, and I got to network, and I got to shake hands with everybody, and I was so eager, but like panicky at the same time. And I remember, I don't know if the first class was Jeff King's little thing that we had, or if it was
my memory is so bad.
It was one of the two. I honestly think it was like Jeff King taking care of the class first.
I don't even remember who Jeff King is.
The improv teacher, the saxophone guy, the bald, tall dude.
Okay.
He was a great guy. But see, the thing is, I remember all of it because I only did 1 year, right? So
yeah,
like,
true.
You had 4 years after where it's like it's easy. For me, it was like that was the 1 year, I remember we were in that class and they were talking. Amanda Tosoff was there and somebody else was there. And they were talking like jazz history and all this stuff. And I remember being like, da, 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 like notating all of it. And then I remember like Gideon giving like a little shoulder nudge to Matt Savard.
Okay.
Because I was like in a Slipknot t-shirt or whatever I was wearing. And I was like I was like, oh my God, I got to write all this down. And then I realized nobody else was notating. I was like,
nobody gives a shit.
I was like, I'm that kid. Don't forget to mark our homework.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. So after that, it was chill. And I didn't, like do anything. Because like the people, like the things that they were saying, people already knew. But I didn't. Because I never studied jazz prior.
Oh, yeah, me either.
So all that was new information to me. And then I remember when we had the one-on-ones. Do you remember that? When we were sitting there and they're like, okay, like play something on the piano or play something on like the drums or whatever. Jeff King asked me to play a C major scale. And he's like, oh, you play drums? I was like, yeah, I'm like a rock guy. And he's like, okay. He's like, that's no problem. Let's start simple. He's like, let's play C major scale. I was like,
You didn't know?
bro, it escaped me. Like, I just like forgot all of it. And I was like, damn, I suck.
Wow.
I was like, what the hell? And he's like, that's fine.
Through that whole year, that's the feeling I felt was, wow, I suck.
Yeah, dude. I remember we did that. He asked me to play the scale. And I was like, I'm sorry, sir. Like, I have. And he's like, no, you don't have to call me sir. Just call me Jeff. I was like, okay, sir. Jeff. Like, I remember, like, just having that moment. And then we had Catherine Mitro's class. And we were doing a little bit of, like, the theory. And
Shout out Kathy Mitro.
She's the best.
Yeah.
I love that woman.
She, like, saved me from failing.
Same.
Really?
Before the strike, I was doing so bad. And that year, like, all of September and the majority of October of 2017, I was doing so bad. And I remember one day I came home to my parents and I told them, like, I need to move out. I need to move downtown. Like, the drive and all this. And my parents were like, relax. Because we got, like, our first, like, big test back. And I got, like, 30 or 40. When I thought I was going to at least pass. I was like, okay, I know I passed. And then you didn't pass by, like, 15%. You're like,
Yeah.
You just lose your mind. And then I sat down with her. I'm like, Kathy, help a brother out, please. Like, let me figure this out. And then she's like, well, we're going on strike. She introduced musictheory.net to me, that website. I to this day, I use that with my students. I love that website. But she's like, do this for, like, key signatures, reading notes, accidentals, like, play them on the piano, like, learn the height of the treble clef and the depth of the bass clef or whatever. Like, middle C isn't on 5 parts in the clef. It's just on 2. You know what I mean? And all that. And I was like, okay. And then, bro, we finished the strike. I came back. I was like, with vengeance, man. It was like Batman 2. I was ready.
You're good.
I was good after that.
For me, it happened 3/4 through the year.
Really?
I got really sick. I got, like, food poisoning. And then I lost, like, 15 pounds, and I got, like, really depressed. And then I just stopped going to class.
Was this when you were, like, drinking a ton of water? That day you drank a bunch of water
separate
and like, ate salt?
That's a separate story. I ate the chicken nuggets at the cafeteria.
Yeah.
And they gave me such bad food poisoning. I was, like, throwing up every 20 minutes for, like, 6 hours. And then it was by the time it was at the point where I was like, I have to go to the hospital now because I can't stop throwing up.
Yeah.
And then after that, I just, like, stopped eating food and I stopped going to class.
Wow.
For, like, a couple weeks. And then I went up to Kathy and I was like, hey, like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I don't know anything. And there was, like, exams coming up. And, I had to, like...
This was in second semester?
Yeah, so second semester.
I kind of remember you not being around, but I don't remember. I never remembered why.
Right.
I just remember, like, we had classes. Who's that, the ear training teacher that we had? Do you remember her? The short, older woman.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember her name.
She was, like, had white hair, right?
Yes, she did. So I'm just making sure. I'm always, like, so conscious about this
recording?
Camera. Yeah, just making sure I see a red dot.
Rolling?
We are rolling, for sure. It's the hard part of not having, like, you need, like, a guy or somebody behind the scenes,
Yeah. Somebody to just stand there.
Just be like, yep, we're good. Just be able to call it,
Thumbs
thumbs up. Yeah,
rolling.
yeah. But yeah, that lady, I remember her. Like, we were in class and she was like, she had her teaching style.
It was pretty out there.
Yeah, and I remember, like, it was like, where's Sam? I can't remember. I never remembered why though. And then I always think about that that story.
Yeah, the second semester, I just had like 7 things happen to me. And
Dude, it was like crazy.
Yeah.
But why did you drink all that water? Or was it because you had like a health kick?
I had a health kick, and then it was like I was eating shit food for like 2 weeks, and I looked up online one night. I think it was like 11 p.m. or something.
Yeah.
I looked up like, how do you be healthy? Like, what do you do? And it was like, eat whole foods, don't fry your food, do this, do that. And the last point was like, drink 3 liters of water a day.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot, but like...
I guess throughout the day if you're working out.
Throughout the day.
Something. Yeah.
But it was 11 p.m. and I don't know, I was just stupid. So I was like, I didn't drink any water today. Like, probably I drank like a cup. So I'll get the 3 liters in today, and I'll start the food sort of transformation tomorrow, because I was full. It was 11 p.m. I wasn't going to get the food in, so I'll get the water in. So I filled out a thing. I measured 3 liters. I had it in this big jug. And I was watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And I just put it in the thing and I kept sipping from it. And like 30 minutes, or the episode's pretty much over, like 25 minutes or something. And the water's gone. And I was like, okay, well, that's good. I got it all done. And then I started sweating out of all my pores, and I started shaking, and I started freaking out. I was thinking, what the hell? I feel like I have a fever or something. And then I started peeing. Like every 30 seconds to a minute, I had to go pee. And I was like, something is wrong. Like I have continuous amounts of pee. I can't stop peeing. I would pee for like a minute straight, and then like 30 seconds later, I'd have to go back and pee more.
Powers scene.
I have never watched Austin Powers.
Oh man!
But
oh my god!
And then I looked it up. It was like, something's wrong, because I feel like really weird right now. So then I looked it up, and then the first result was something along the lines of like, lady has liver failure after drinking 3 liters of water in like 40 minutes. And I drank like it in half the time. So then I started freaking out. I was like, I don't want to go to the hospital again.
And then you tried to eat.
Yeah, so it says it gets. I love how you're outing me on this podcast. It says it depletes all your electrolytes, all your salt in your body. So I literally just took a salt shaker and I started eating salt. I started just pouring it down, and it worked because I didn't have liver failure. But my roommate came home at like 2 a.m.
Wasn't it Ryan McNeil?
Yeah, Ryan. He came home like at 1 or 2 a.m, and he just opens the door to me, freaking the fuck out. Can you swear on this podcast? Is it a swear?
Yeah, bro.
Okay, freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
He just opens the door, and I'm like sitting at the table, like waiting to die. And he's like, "What's going on, man?"
Bro, just like, what's going on? Water. I need salt.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is hilarious. Yeah, to this day, man, that story cracks me up.
Yeah, I don't really tell people it that much because they just think I'm an idiot.
But you're like 17 and living on your own. You know, like if you've never like done that prior, even like being at the cottage, you know, for a full day by yourself as a kid, where you gotta like live on your own. You know what I mean? Like my cousin Anthony and his family have a cottage, and I went up there for a weekend in the winter, and then a separate time in the summer where like my cousin and I had to like, hey man, we need to eat some food. Like we need to figure something out. It's not like there's a pizza around the corner, like up, you know, in cottage area. So we had to like, gotta put stuff in the oven, learn how to cook an egg. You know, I feel like if you don't see someone else do something like that, then you do it, you just learn like the hard way.
Yeah.
You know, and that's you drinking 3 liters of water. It's like, I'm just gonna
do it. Just get it all done in 20 minutes.
Get it all done. That's kind of.
I don't know why everybody doesn't do that. You know,
why don't you just drink the whole week's worth of water on a Monday?
Exactly. Like, you know, but
the human beings, the human body. So we met at Humber.
Yeah.
My day was super panicky. Catherine Micho is actually the one that like helped me like level out. She's like, hey, there's at least 4 other students here that have never even listened to jazz. I was like, thank God.
Me being one of them.
Yeah, well, the thing that I found was like when we were there were kids that had already graduated other programs. Like think about it, at the time we were 17, there were people that were 22, 21, 23, like around that age, who had done something at, you know, implement any school in the conversation. Somebody had graduated from something already, right? So they already were in an environment that wasn't high school, which is a completely different ballgame for music. And so when they came to Humber was a level up for them. So to me, it felt like going from high school to Humber, like it's great. It's sure there's a noteworthy component to it, but it's also like, am I equipped to like tussle with the big kids, you know? But I think at the end of it, like we figured it out. I mean, you graduated, right?
Like,
did you graduated the bachelor program already? No.
I'm in the second year. I just finished the second year.
Oh, okay.
I took a couple years off. after intro.
Okay, I thought you like. 'Cause shout out to Nina Singh, by the way, because I told him she's graduated already, but she went right after intro.
Yeah, no,
You went
I
straight to
worked
it.
full time like for 2 years after
Yeah.
the intro, and then I went back into music school
Mm-hmm.
for a little bit, reluctantly,
Yeah.
but it's still like a little iffy about it. Like,
Yeah. How do you feel? So give me your like. I'm gonna get this pull out of the way. Give me your honest opinion on Humber. Like, is it something that today you would be like, I'm gonna start this program now? Like COVID, considering like all the horror stories that I've been hearing
but
about Humber.
really, I don't know. It depends what you want.
Mm.
It just depends what you're looking for. Like, if you're looking to be the best musician you can be, then yeah, go to like a highly competitive music school and sort of, learn all these crazy things that you might never use
Right.
in your day-to-day life. But I'm getting more out of it now
Mm.
that I've like, because before I was like totally against music school, even though I was in a music school. But it was like my only option because I suck at pretty much everything other than music. So I went there and I hated it at first. And I was like, I didn't even like doing fills as a drummer. Like I just like playing the beat. That's it. I don't want to whatever. But now it's different. Like I'm more open to that stuff. But yeah, it just depends what you're looking for. Music school is good for like a certain type of person. And I'm like on the fence about it usually. Like either I love it or I hate it. So yeah.
Yeah, because I've been thinking about going back and like I don't know. There's a truth to wanting to like totally master your instrument. The devil's advocacy that I find in that is like for example, I love drummers like Matt Garska. Like I watch him play and I'm like, you're a generational hero without a doubt. But like, where is your career actually in terms of like longevity kind of thing? Like, let's say
teaching.
Well, it's pretty much education.
Yeah.
Because like Billie Eilish or Alessia Cara or Jack Harlow like don't care about polyrhythms or anything like that. And I'm like, there's a point to it where it's like I'd rather just be in the industry for what it is and play well as opposed to like every single chop in existence I can perform, but I'm never using them.
But on the other hand, if you add those sort of weird things into pop music or maybe like Indian stuff, I find that's when there's like because I used to think like that. You think like there's no real way of adding this into music that I like.
Right.
But then there's like examples of people doing it.
Yeah.
Like let's say like the drummer for King Cruel, like King Cruel could have just taken any one of his friends who plays the drums and just like, okay, play the beat to the song and that's all good. Right. But his drummer is like so good. Like has all these jazz tendencies and he brings things into the music that normally wouldn't be there. And it's like, okay, there's the actual functional use of knowing more than just a groove. You know what I mean? And it works.
So I don't know why I'm coughing so much, but I see what you mean. There is certainly a truth that it's definitely not as extreme. Like if you're like, for example, "Kiss Me More" by Doja Cat has polyrhythms in the vocal melody.
I haven't heard that one.
When she's saying like "Pour your eyes on me" or "Boy I gotta see," whatever it is, it's like 1 and 2 and 3 dun, 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 over like a 4/4 groove. Like there's certainly places to make it work. I think at that point it just depends on the individual, because any musician will have all of the fills and phrases at their disposal, and then try and implement all of them at the same time. But I guess it's more of like tool in the toolbox kind of thing.
Yeah,
where it's like if it fits in the song, make it work. If the song needs that like extra higher level of like mastery or ability to play the instrument, then implement it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing I've been thinking about, because it's like it's kind of this hard thing, and music is not something so like, I don't want to just say rudimentary, but it's not like it has one singular lane of like success or whatever. Like I'm gonna speak on ignorance here, but it's like if you're a doctor, you spend your 8 years getting your doctor's degrees and educations and all that, and then you find a hospital, and then you work within the hospital, but that's its own like personal challenges within that space, right? But it's pretty much just like school, from my understanding. Again, I could be totally wrong, but it's like school, get all that figured out, find a place that's hiring, get hired, which is not an easy task, easier said than done, and then you start working. Whereas music, it's like you could be doing all the right things, but not getting anywhere until you turn like 45 or 55, like Charles Bradley, where it's like it took you years. You know what I mean? Like the oh my God, what's the guy that made KFC? What's his name?
Colonel Sanders?
I think the guy that actually made it, I don't know if that's his actual name, but like he was working in something for years.
Yeah.
And then made KFC, and like, you know, he basically had a late start, but didn't have late start. He had late success.
Oh.
Right? Charles Bradley is the same story. Like the guy that did the song for the Big Mouth intro and all that stuff, right? Like he didn't have immediate success when he was younger. It came much later. And so the thing I've been trying to wrestle with is like seriously validating the spend on education. Like making sure that like all the money spent, not just in the program, but like living there, gear, like all that stuff is like actually worth it. But I guess at the end of the day, like you know, the school isn't going to do it for you. I guess it's like even with the education, you have to do it yourself.
Yeah,
Still,
like
you know?
there's no real job that you're gonna get like being an artist. You have to just be an artist, and hopefully people like what you make. But like, if you go to music school, maybe you leave and you teach, or you work in the industry somewhere. But like, you gotta figure things out like yourself.
It's something I've been thinking about for some time now, because it's like, for me, it's like if I'm going to allocate 4 years worth of time to go to school, I'm going to really make sure that those are 4 very focused years to get the most like out of every minute, you know? The way I see it is because there's an actual end date to all of this, whether it's a full 4 years or it's 5 or it's extended or whatever. It's like, it's sort of like the hourglass gets turned upside down, and it's like every class that you take, you're getting closer to graduating. So like make sure you absorb as much as you can, because you're spending $150 a day to be there or whatever the number is, you know? So it's like, you got to really soak it in. And for me, it's just trying to like, I guess, like justify it in a way that's like, I guess, do you really think there's like a right time to go into schooling? Like to commit to the 4 years?
No, like,
you know?
No, there's people who are doing it when they're like 60. Like they just want to learn more.
Yeah.
So yeah, just whatever you get out of it. Like some people just want to expand their mind. And I don't think there's a wrong time to do that. No.
Yeah, because I've been thinking like, you know, being 22 now, starting school next year at 23, ending at 27. It's like, that's still fairly young for the industry, unless you're like a Ren for short or whatever, or Billie Eilish, right?
Yeah.
You know, or fucking Justin Bieber for that matter. But like, yeah, it's one thing I've been like trying to wrestle with. It's like, do I want to spend 4 years there? Would it be wiser to get more of a degree in business where that applies to the music business as opposed to performance? Because I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of perspectives to look at it, a lot of perspectives to sit from and sort of view it and decide, like, how do you want to approach it, you know? But then it's like, some people are like, I'm not even getting an education. Like, I'm just making 365 TikToks a year, you know, and just doing enough of that to, like, make my career happen. And people, like I'm seeing, like, A&R raps on TikTok, like, all the time, working with, like, Roddy Ricch and successful artists like that, having no long-term, high-level, like, education.
Yeah.
Know, and working with that. So, yeah, it's an interesting topic that doesn't seem like it has one singular answer.
No,
you know?
It's kind of random. Like, it's very random. I don't know.
What is your plan after graduating?
I have no clue. I have no clue. I'm just sort of making music. Like, I make music outside of school. Like, sometimes I have to choose, like, am I going to write a song or am I going to go to class? Like, because the song is coming to my head right now. And it's like, what do I do? Do I keep on writing or do I skip or do I go to the class? But I don't know. I don't really know. I'm just seeing how things go, meeting people and recording and playing shows. Yeah, not too sure.
I would say that you certainly have a successful music project.
Yeah,
it's like
that's doing pretty good.
Know, getting a lot of love and stuff. Shout out to Glitter Party.
Shout out.
When did you start it?
2019.
Is that when you started writing tunes? Or is that when you started releasing?
Started releasing. I started writing as soon as I like found out that I can plug a guitar into my parents' Mac.
Nice.
So I like started recording songs when I was probably like 12 or something.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah, just for fun. I didn't really like I'd just come home from school and I'd just make a song, and it would just be like a fun pastime, and it would it just went on for a while.
Do you still have those old demos?
Yeah, they're on YouTube.
Wow, I gotta listen to them. I gotta hear them, man.
Secret band names.
Secret band name. I remember. Do you remember the first? Okay, I guess it's not the first Guitar Hero. Do you remember Guitar Hero World Tour?
I never had it, but I do know of Guitar Hero.
That was the game that Santa Claus got me as a kid.
Santa Claus got you.
Yeah, Santa. You know, him and I are tight.
Oh shit! I never met him. I'm Jewish.
Yeah, my folks got it for me, and I remember like setting it up, and my whole family, like me, my mom, my brother was too young at the time, but we all tried to play. And then my dad and I would play a bit. Like he would play the little like guitar riff on like we were playing like Lateralis by Tool and trying to do the drumming thing. And I got the first kit. I broke that one. It like stopped responding.
Oh yeah, so just too good of a drummer.
No, just too bad of a drummer because I was breaking the drums. We got a second one from the warranty. Santa was kind enough to give me a second try. Okay. And then I remember like finishing the game and like being really happy that I finished the game and then exploring more. And I found out that in that game that you can actually record stuff. And it was kind of like MIDI.
No way.
So I had a song called Crazy Days. Yeah. That was like CRAZZZY.
Oh, of course.
DAYZ. You know, back in like 2012 or 13 or whatever. You know, like I was jamming to like new releases from Keen. Or the Black Keys, like Brothers, was like the big album for me at that age, you know. Or Viking Death, like Dead Silence from Billy Talent. And I remember like trying to like play the drum beat and then trying to figure any of the tunes out on guitar or whatever and like try and play it. And it was quite literally MIDI from my recollection. It was like the little note like dot would pop up, you know, and then you listen back to it and like, this doesn't sound right. This sounds like shit.
Okay, you know? I got a question for you.
Totally.
Were you... Oh, wait. Guitar Hero, was there a drum kit in that or just Rock Band?
Well, Guitar Hero was guitar for the first three, and then World Tour came out, which had a drum set. Yeah. And then Rock Band came out with just the 4 drum pads, like the Rototoms, and I hated that game.
I had Rock Band, and I sucked at it.
I hated it.
I sucked.
The drum set was terrible.
I was a better drummer in real life.
Yeah,
than on the drum kit in the game, and it never made sense to me. Like my sister would come, and she'd play the drums better than me in the game.
Yeah, it was not made for drums. It was like an orange, a yellow, a green, and a red tab or whatever, like red pads.
Yeah,
you know, and it was like the yellow and orange was the hi-hat and snare, but then sometimes the yellow would also be the crash. So you'd connect the hi-hat sound, and then you have to hit it again, like that's the crash. You're like, why is this 2 things? Whereas Guitar Hero had like 2 cymbals, like a yellow and an orange one, and then red, blue, green was like your snare and your 2 toms.
Yeah.
Like that's like a ride, a hi-hat, and then 2 toms. Like that's like a kit, you know?
Yeah, totally.
And I hated Rock Band. Anytime people had that, I'm like, I'm leaving this house.
Well, that's the only one I had.
So your question was if I played Rock Band?
No, I was saying, were you good at the drums in Rock Band? So that was a no.
I would assume not. Even though I don't remember, I would assume not.
Right.
Yeah, because I just like I didn't like them. I hated them. But at the time too, like I had the Guitar Hero kit and I could connect like the colors to the sound of the drum set, and then I would listen to records and then I would play along like on the Guitar Hero kit without the actual game.
Yeah.
So I remember watching the Black Keys at BBC when Brothers came out. And Patrick Carney had like that sparkly yellow like rainbow kit, and I remember like playing along to Next Girl and Howlin' for You and Lonely Boy or the Police Synchronicity live in Argentina and Keen's Under the Atlantic Sea or whatever it was called, or Hopes and Fears, and like having my little, oh man, shout out to Apple for their discontinued iPods. The end of an era right there. But I had the iPod Shuffle connected to like my like T-shirt.
You had the one that connected to the shirt?
I had the tiny little blue one, like the one with no screen. And to fast forward on that thing was crazy because it would be like in alphabetical order, like the music. So I'd be like running through Aerosmith, the Beatles, CCR. I'm trying to get to like My Chemical Romance. I'm like, and I'm just fast forwarding to M. And then listening to that, or like, I used to fall asleep listening to like Slipknot, which was kind of fucked at that age.
Classic.
Little fucked up kid over there. Just fucking, before I forget that. Just like freaking out. But I used to like jam along on that thing. And it just, beat the shit out of it. Like no one could really use it. And then I think my dad like recognized one of the beats that I was playing and then took me for lessons, like for the second time. The first time I was too young. The second time it was actually with the guy that still works here now. Shout out to Dario Casulo at B Sharp Music, formerly Arcadia, but screw that. It's B Sharp Music. And he was my teacher for, 6 or 7 years, maybe more, maybe 8. He was my teacher all the way up until Humber. Like, he prepared me for my Humber audition and all that. And
oh, cool.
He was the guy. He's a great dude, How was your... I'm going to do a quick time check, but tell us the story on how you started playing drums after you learned how to record.
I started playing drums before I learned how to record, really. Like, for a while. I played drums... I think I got a drum set when I was like 8 years old. I played guitar before.
Right.
And then... yeah, my parents got me a drum set when I was around like 8. And yeah, I would just, same thing. I had my iPod, I put in some headphones, and I just played all my favorite songs like over and over.
And you had a drum set?
Yeah, I got it when I was around 8.
Nice.
Yeah.
What kit was it?
Oh.
CB.
No, it wasn't CB. I think it was... No, it wasn't even it was like an imported brand. So I don't even remember the name. It was like some imported brand.
Attack drums.
I know I had the Orion symbols. I just know that.
Yeah. Yeah. I always thought it was Orion.
Orion?
Orion. Or is it Orion? I've never actually used them before. I've just seen them like...
oh, they're great.
For sale.
They're great.
Because I had a CB kit, and I had the CB cymbals. Like, I had the hi-hats, and I had, like, the crash that I used as a ride. And then I had, like, a 14-inch Sabian B8 cymbal that I actually enjoyed. I liked using it. And, like, the kit that I had, I put, like... you know how you have, like, your 2, like, tom stands in the kick drum?
Yeah.
So I used the small tom, and I took the middle tom out. And then I put like a singular cymbal stand that didn't have the bass in the middle tom slot. So I had like a crash like right in front of me.
Whoa.
And then like a ride here.
That's like those old trap kits from the 20s.
Exactly. That's so true. I never thought about that. Yeah, because it was like right in front.
Yeah.
And then like the CB as a ride. And then they had like the 2 toms. And I was playing that. And then, man, I just started like beating up the cymbals. Like the CB cymbal like cracked. And then a chip fell off, and those cymbals like broke so easily.
I don't know how people crack cymbals. I've never cracked
a cymbal. You've never cracked a cymbal?
Ever.
What?
But you know what I have done is I've kicked through the bass drum skin so many times.
I've only done that once.
Like maybe 4 times.
Really?
Yeah.
I've only broken it once, and it was a new head. It was a Remo head, and I had turned the battery because I have like the. I had growing up. I had like I had like a Gibraltar double pedal, but I had the beater head could flip and use the plastic side. And I was just gonna start moving on me now. Come on. There we go. Nice. Yeah, so I thought that the beater head could flip, but it was just part of the design. So it had like the felt side, and then it had this little like small little tail.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's like another that's another side. Like that's how you get like that Slipknot, the submillion
attack,
that real attack, like all tick sound,
the thud.
And I turned it around and I started playing like the Color Morale or We Came as Romans or whatever. And I'm like, dun, 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 ticka, 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 dun, 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 and my kick pedal went right through a brand new head.
Wow.
Right through, the whole thing cracked. And I remember being like livid because I was like working at Harvey's, had like $100 a week. And I was like, I took like 2 weeks to save up for this head. And now it broke on me, and now I have to wait another 2 weeks before I can play drums,
I know.
I was like, so I had to go back to the old head that was so like worn in and felt weird to play with double kick because the right foot pedal was deeper than the left foot pedal because the thing had a thud in it, like it had a dent. So it'd feel like you're playing like this as opposed to together. And I remember tweeting to Remo, like, this is a terrible product. Like, I can't believe I have to. I tweeted them because I was like, this is brutal. And then I was talking to the guy over email.
And you were talking to Remo over email?
Over email, yeah.
You contacted them?
Dude, well, they contacted me because I tweeted them. And they're like, we'll reach out to you. And I was like, here's my email.
Oh, my God.
And then I was talking to the guy, and he's like, how tight did you have the bass drum head? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't remember what I had. And whatever it was, it ended up being, like, my fault. Like, I just did it in a way that, like, fucked it up. I was like, okay. But ever since then, I was like, it's Evans instead of Remo. And then, like... I started like really getting into recording, and I was like, okay, it's Remo in the studio and it's Evans in the practice room. What do you think about Remo?
I have no clue about drum heads. I don't know anything.
Really? I thought you would be the one guy for sure that would pay attention. Not that you don't, but like that would be into that.
I have no, my snare broke recently, and I was like trying to fix it, and I completely just bought the wrong resonant head for it. And I was like, I took the snare wires off and on the snare like 7 or 8 times. Yeah. And I was like, still could not figure out why the snare sounded so bad. And then I was like, oh, this bottom head should be like 2, it's not even millimeters, but it's like 2 mm. But I got one that was 7, and it was like throwing the whole sound off for some reason. I have no clue about heads.
Was this the Black Beauty that you had?
No, Superphonic.
It was Superphonic.
Yeah.
Because I remember going to your place in 2018 or 2019.
Sure.
We were jamming a bit. Like 2018 or 2019.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it was 2018 to be honest. Or around there. It was definitely a year or two before COVID. And we were playing, and you showed me this like Ludwig. Didn't you have a Black Beauty or?
It was a Black Magic.
Black Magic. You had okay. That's the one that I have. I remember you were like, I can't tune this thing. It's impossible.
I hated that snare.
And I was like, what?
I have problems with snares.
Really?
I can never get them like that one. Yeah, I ended up fixing that one and
what did you fix? Like, what was the thing?
It was the wires. It's always the wires. I don't even remember what I did, but the wires were tricky.
I use the bronze like Pure Sound wires.
Oh yeah,
that brand.
I just use whatever comes with the drum.
Oh yeah, usually those are pretty ass. Unless it's like someone that's like taking the time, but like I got the Pearl Decade Maple kit in 2019, which was a steal. I've like loved that. Where was I going with this? Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what's happening with my student today.
Your student?
Yeah, they want the student to start at 3 today. I was like, that sucks. You told me 3:15.
I got some time.
Yeah, we do certainly. Let me see. Is this?
Thank you for tuning in to the Flat 5 podcast.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, so I got the Pearl Decade Maple kit, and the stock snare had the like really like almost plasticky metal wires, and the straps were made out of plastic. And I was like, I don't like this. So I went to Long McQuaid and bought like the copper or bronze, like wider band, like snare wires. Yeah. And those ones were like, I'm like, this is it now. Because I like being able to like control how much buzz you're getting from the snare. Like if you want that really tight snare tone, you crank it up a bit. But if you want to play like, if you want to hear the drum and then the ending of that note is the wires, like I want to like open it up a bit, and tuning plays a big part.
You know what I like? Is when you hit the kick drum and the snare buzzes.
That's what I mean. You have that
You
looseness.
have it loose
You
enough
know?
so it, but yeah,
Just goes bzz.
like that.
Adds a little bit of effect. You know?
Effect.
It's good stuff. I had a conversation. I don't remember who. I don't know who I was talking to, but somebody was like, "What's the difference between effect with an E and affect with an A?"
Well, there's a difference.
There's certainly a difference, but I don't remember. I feel like
The effect is okay. Well, effect with
Yeah.
an E.
Mm-hmm.
You could say like visual effects,
or like sound effects. Like
Sound
you're
effects.
adding something on
like
top.
like a little pizzazz.
Yeah, I imagine it's something that's like inanimate. Like it's not a person.
But an affect,
It's
like
like
it affected me, like an impact.
yes, that's what I mean. Like I feel like affect with an A is like to do with like a actual person. You know, because it's
Yeah.
still a change, unless the
Yeah.
definition is one is addition and one is, but it's still change either way. You know,
Sure.
English. Oh my god. So, one thing I've always wanted to ask you,
Yes.
as we've hung out and worked together and all that, but I'm like, this is what I'll save for the podcast.
Oh, you've been saving this all these
Oh,
years.
I've been saving this.
Okay.
What was the very first tune? Not that you wrote, but when did you have that moment where you wrote a song and said, "This is certainly a song that I want to release"? If you've had that moment.
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I did release a lot of bad songs before,
Like
like just on
pre-Glitter
YouTube.
Party?
Like I would make songs on my parents' Mac, and I would
Yeah.
just like, I would just like make like a metal song, and I just post it on YouTube, or I'd make like I don't know. I couldn't even really play guitar at that time, so I would record like 3 seconds of guitar, and then I'd stop it, and then I'd record the next 3 seconds, and I would do that for like a 3-minute song. So I'd
Holy.
piece together like all this stuff. Yeah, like I couldn't even play. I couldn't play chords in time, so I'd just play one chord, and then I'd stop, and then I'd go to the next chord, and I'd keep on going. So I've like posted so many songs that aren't good before, like my.
Did you ever like clip and reset like the timing?
Oh no, I didn't know how to do that.
Oh
I didn't
man,
know how to do anything.
that's awesome though.
Yeah,
I love that.
but so your question was like, what was the first song that I released that I knew
The first song that you were like, well, considering that you released tunes prior, maybe the question is, what was the first song that you? Because I hadn't known that you had released like music prior to Glitter Party, even like on the DL,
Yeah.
But like, what was the first song that was dedicated to Glitter Party, or did you make a song and then say,
Yeah.
"I want this to be Glitter Party"?
I sort of like. I wrote songs for a while, even like after that whole period in high school. I wrote songs. I was just like, that was my main hobby. I wouldn't really like. I'd go out, but I'd just stay home and write for the most part. And so I had like all this like at home experience, I guess.
Yeah,
so
totally.
then, but nothing that stood out to me like, oh, I'm going to make a career out of this, or I'm going to like, this is going to be me.
Right.
But then, like in 2019, I sort of just like had some stuff happen, and I locked myself in a basement for a couple weeks or maybe a month. I was just like writing.
Yeah.
Because that's all like I could do. And, that's when the first EP I put out, that's when like I put together those songs, and listening back to it, like it was a form of therapy, but it also, I was listening back to it and I was thinking, this is actually not bad. Like
Dude,
I wouldn't be
absolutely not.
scared if like, normally I'd be scared if like I'm just releasing a song and people are listening to it. But I was thinking after listening to them that I'm okay with this being out.
Yeah.
Like I kind of want to release this because of just how things were sounding. Things were sounding cool, and the production, I tried a different thing with production where I just went really simple,
right.
And yeah, so I guess those first sort of demos of my first EP in 2019 is like when I actually wanted to release it, like for real.
Yeah, dude. I remember when you came out with that, and you had like you did a couple posts on Instagram of you with like, I don't know if it was like, there was something you had in your hand. It was like either paint or chalk or something.
Oh, the album cover?
Yeah. Was there
It's
like
a slushy.
It's a slushy?
It's a slushy. Yeah.
Oh, my next bet was like one of those like not dynamite. What's the word?
Definitely dynamite.
Yeah, if the crowd can help me out here, like the things that you break
What do you
and
guys
then
think?
like
Was it dynamite?
yeah,
Yeah, no.
Sam's just like in his school parking lot, just like
Yeah.
But there was something that like when you're in like a time of oh my god.
Oh, a flare.
Thank you. Oh my Jesus, bro.
You thought I had a flare?
Like something, yeah. I was like, did this guy like?
No, it was just a really bad slushy, and I was taking photos for the album cover, and I just like went like that and
through the slushy.
held the cup because we don't litter.
Yes,
but
we'll
through
certainly
the
throw
slushy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
You know.
Yeah, because I remember thinking it was a flare.
Well, that's
But
cool.
It's not. It's a slushy. It's a little bit less badass, but it's
Yeah.
No, I'm just messing
no,
with
it's flare would have been cooler. I'll do that for the next one.
for the next one. But dude, I remember when you came out with that, and I remember listening to that record and being like, hell yes, like I'm so glad you released it. Because I remember jamming and we were like talking about it. And then I remember it was me, you, and another kid from our program. He was a guitarist. He was Spanish. I don't know if he was Venezuelan, but he was a guitar player.
Juan?
Yes, Juan, thank you.
Juan.
I remember you showing him and me this demo that you made.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, like that's amazing. Like this is the dopest thing I've heard, because everything at that time I was hearing was like my favorite things and summertime and like all the standards and Oleo. And I'm like, like I need something else. And then you played us that and how you like slowed it down and pitched it down and all this. I was like, this dude is a wizard. I was like,
yeah, that's my favorite.
Sam is a wizard.
Pitching things down.
It was dope. And I was like, I need this to come out. Like, I need to hear this.
That never came out.
I know. And neither
that was like
did
a year or 2 years before I like wrote that EP.
Yeah. And then you sent me another little demo too. Side tracker or something. Sidewinder, side something. You sent me, it had like the automation like going.
Oh, yeah, that one. That was recently.
Yeah, it was recently. I was like, I need this to come out. I'm like, I'm having the same experience back in Humber.
I have a whole lot of songs that are never going to come out.
I was like, God.
Yeah.
So he just released like a batch of instrumentals, like even if they're 40 seconds.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I was like, oh man, it's so good. Because like, I don't know. I find like a lot of time artists have like really good things and they feel like they can't complete it, therefore it shouldn't come out. And I'm like, hey, like, you can just make something that's really simple, and then some hip hop artist is gonna pick it up and turn that into a sample. Like, Can I Kick It sample, where they sample Lou Reed. Like, if you just made this really cool chord progression, put that on a loop and a little solo, and like, this is my demo, and I don't know what to do with it, but maybe somebody else does. And then they turn it into something fantastic, Because I really, when I first heard that, I was like, I can really hear like, the band Always.
Yeah.
Like that type of like female lead on that, like with you singing together. And I was sitting there like, man, that would be sick.
Maybe
that would
one
be
day.
so sick. I was
Maybe
like, oh my
day.
God, I would love that. So, but yeah, I remember when you came up with that record, I was like, this is great. Like I loved seeing somebody who was in school not immediately go like the session gig at a wedding or like that kind of thing, like actually taking it and making it their own and really being an individual. In a way that's like authentic,
Well, thank you.
Of course, and I mean, I listened to that and your last release. What is the actual title of the last release?
The last release was a single, like endlessly.
Not endlessly. The record,
like the smiley face
one.
One, yeah. I don't know. Some people call it smiley face.
Yeah.
Some people call it colon.
Right bracket,
end bracket,
end
or
bracket.
something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
Yeah.
call it. I just like I called it smiley or smiley face or
Yeah.
like the record with the door or something.
The door
right?
record.
The door record, right?
Yeah,
because wasn't your first one self-titled?
Yeah, self-titled.
Yeah, it was just Glitter Party.
Just Glitter
and then
Party.
after that, it was like, okay, we'll just call it Smiley or Smiley Face, right?
Those names are just because I don't know what to call these songs.
Yeah,
they're these like albums, so.
But you have fantastic tunes on there that have clearly gotten a ton of love, which is more than deserving.
Yeah,
like
pretty crazy.
We were, and this is another story that we've talked about before. 1-to-1 and at our studio, like teaching. But there was one of my students that I teach on Saturdays when you came out with Endlessly. So the day after you released Endlessly, I have a student who's a grade 8 or grade 9 now. And I was telling them, like, hey, like, what music you listen to, and they were going, oh, Arcade Fire and this band and Mother and all that stuff, and I was like, you got to check out my friend's group, like his project. It's called Glitter Party, and she's like, oh, I know that, and I remember being like, I was like, yes, I was like, this is amazing.
So
she's
odd.
like, yeah, he just released a song, and I was like, you know that he teaches here? She's like, what? I'm like, I know that guy. Isn't that crazy? And I just remember being like, dude, like, fuck yes, dude. Like, absolutely, fuck yes times a million. Like, that's like the coolest fucking
shit.
shit.
Spotify.
Shout out to Spotify.
Algorithm.
But not Daniel Ek, but Spotify.
Who's that?
Daniel Ek's the CEO. Who spends like $400 million on U.S. defense instead of like, paying their artists or whatever. But it's fine. It's fine. We have DistroKid. It's fine. So
fuck DistroKid.
Yeah, I'm a CD baby. Actually,
no, I'm a DistroKid. We love you.
I'm a DistroKid guy.
Me too.
Times 1,000. Yeah.
Thanks so much.
DistroKid and Spreaker.
Thanks for my gas.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So yeah, man. I mean, I feel like every release that you do, I'm like, I need more. Like I listen to it and I'm like, I want it, but I also want more.
Thank you.
You just turned me into like a musical glutton. Like I just want more. So you need to get to work, bro.
I'm trying. I'm trying so hard. It's so hard to write songs.
I feel that.
Like some people, it's easy. For me, it's so hard, and it's just getting harder.
That's what she said.
And you don't like The Office? That's
that's
from the Office. How can you quote The Office and not like it?
Bro, it's because one of my friends, Daniil, says that all the time. And like, he's the one that implanted it in my brain. I forget that there's like a whole compilation of Michael Scott saying like, that's what she said.
Yeah.
So
literally.
I'm a hypocrite.
I'm
a hypocrite times 1,000. What do you think the factor is as to why it's hard to write a song?
I think just because I really know what I want.
So like reaching for that is hard?
Yeah, because like there's a sound that I hear with a song, or there's something that I hear in my head that I'm trying to get out. And if it's 95% of the way there, like it has to be 100 or nothing. You know what I mean? Like it can't be, that's sort of close to what I want, but not exactly. So yeah, like it just takes me a while. Like with the first EP I put out, I didn't really care. Like I just, these songs are cool and I put them out. And with the Smiley Face one, it was a little bit more like refined. And then Endlessly, I spent like a month mixing the song, just like adding more tracks. And
you did a fantastic job on that tune.
Thanks.
Every time I play that song in the car, everyone's like, can I take a picture of your phone? Like, can I get this song, please? I'm like, fucking hell yeah. Take that picture and send it to 10 friends, please.
That one took a while.
But, dude, I really think that paid off, man. That's such a fantastic tune. And there's a guitar that... I was like, oh, yes. And did you use the K Constantinople on that tune?
Yeah, that's the only symbol.
The way that symbol, it's just butter, man.
What do you think of the chorus, though? I feel like I was thinking that was so muddy.
I'll always
yeah,
dude, I love it.
But like with the drums, I always thought it was really muddy, but with the cymbal.
No.
Yeah, drums are cool.
I love that tune. Honestly, when I first heard that, I was like, this is my favorite Glitter Party tune.
Wow.
And I was like, I heard that knowing that you were releasing because our Sharp 4 artist, Wolf, was also releasing the day prior. And he was releasing on the Thursday. And I was like, okay, I'm going to listen to like Wolf's music and then listen to that tune when it comes out. Because I knew the song, but I knew portions of it. And then I was like, once I'm done listening to Wolf's tune, I'm going to listen to Glitter Party's music throughout my day on Thursday so that when it comes out on Friday, I can like... Because I love hearing the whole progression. You know, I wanted to do that with Kendrick. Not possible. Way too much time. Sure. I love him, but it took forever. I was like, this is not going to happen. So I listened to like Untitled 05 or the Untitled record and that shit. But like, I remember listening to everything and then hearing Endlessly for the first time because I never heard anything from that song before. So it was the first time I heard that. And I was like, this is my favorite Glitter Party tune. Wow. And I listen to it now. I have this massive playlist called just Indie. And there's Hollow Mod, Luna Lee, there's Fourth Way, there's King Cruel, there's like, it's endless. Radiohead, like the list is literally endless. Hockey Dad, like there's so much on there. And every time Endlessly comes up, I still think, bar none, this is my favorite like Glitter Party tune. Because I think like all of my favorite things about your songwriting happen. Like there's like the chorus feels like really melancholic at moments, but the drums are still pushing, you know? And then when you have that, when you play like the crash on like beat 2 or 3, like that to me, it makes me think of like when Tame Impala does that on Inner Speaker or Lonerism, where it's like all this like fluttering lights, and then every shot it's like this huge blast of color, and then it like goes back to its thing. And I was like, this guy, you know? But then your verses are like so cozy, you know? Like I feel like I'm sitting on like a front porch. And so like you take the ear like up and then you bring it down, and then you take the ear up again, and then it keeps a plateau after the chorus, and then it gets brought down again.
That song, I wanted to make something that had more like energy. Like I wanted to sort of make a song people could dance to. I know it's not really a dance song, but
you shake your butt.
It has more energy.
Yeah. You shake your butt for sure.
Because I was listening to my other songs, I was like, yeah, this is good, but like you're just like sitting and listening. I wanted like something with more drive to it.
Yeah.
And then I was also listening to, you know, the playlist My Life's a Movie on Spotify.
I don't know if I do.
It's
I'll
like
check it out.
every indie movie soundtrack.
Oh,
those
wow.
are the songs that are like would be in an indie movie.
Huh. I'm going to check that out.
I was listening to that playlist a lot, and I was like, I want to make a song like this, like something that could be like in an indie movie, coming of age movie. And usually those songs have a lot of like energy, or like they have a really specific vibe to them. So yeah, I spent like months not even recording it, trying to write it. Like I made 5 or 6 songs that had that vibe, but like they didn't really cut it. So I just like throw them aside and then try a new one.
A new feel.
Yeah, so that one came, and I liked the energy and stuff. And yeah, it took a while to mix. There's 130 tracks. Like, they're not specific instruments or different instruments. There's maybe like 30 guitar tracks, all just doing like either the same stuff or different stuff. But yeah, it just went completely overboard. I also went all full digital, like recording with that song. So,
well, for everyone listening to the Flat Five, you need to finish this podcast and go listen to Glitter Party. Like right now, put everything down and go listen to his music, please.
Stop your car.
Stop driving. Over. Anything, just do that. Dude, thank you for coming on this podcast.
No problem.
I love you, man.
I love you too.
Dude, I can't believe Glitter Party loves me. Hell yeah. It's the best start to my week, honestly. I've been waiting a long time to do this podcast. And
yeah.
It is, I'm fucking excited, man. Thank you again.
It's been great.
For all the listeners, Glitter Party on all social media, Spotify, follow, keep an eye for all new music, and we will catch you on the next podcast. Take it easy.